All right, are we in the right spot? Awesome. My live was being a little touchy. So welcome to Brunch Break, episode 26. Today we're going to be talking about eating like you mean it, and what do I mean by the phrase eat like you mean it? So welcome to Brunch Break. Good morning, happy Tuesday. I want to share with you first a very powerful quote by Dr. Scott Stoll. He is one of the whole food plant-based doctors that is my light's being weird. Hold on one second. Okay, so I want to share with you a quote from a whole food plant-based doctor, Dr. Scott Stoll. He shares, and this is in regards to a lot of perhaps preventable diseases through food nutrition. So, and we're talking about things like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, stroke, some cancers, a lot of what America finds themselves dealing with years and years and years later, right? Into their 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't know what's going on with my light. It's like going in and out, but I'm just going to keep going. So Dr. Scott Stoll shares, decisions that we make today all have consequences tomorrow. And if you understand the consequences and you understand the risks of the decisions that you're making, then you're making an informed decision and you won't be surprised by the consequences. Food has tremendous power in your life. It has the power to change your life in so many ways. If you decide to continue down the standard American diet road, eating lots of processed food, drinking lots of alcohol, eating lots of meat, at least you'll be informed and you'll know what to expect 10, 15, 20 years from now. And if you develop disease, it will at least be an informed decision. So why am I getting all serious on you guys today and talking about this? I never knew the power of food until recently, until the last, 5 or so years. I just thought that, food really didn't have a big impact on my overall health. I mean, I knew that it did, but not in the ways that I know it does now. Now I know that that food is medicine. Whole plant-based food is medicine, and fake ass food, like processed food and, cheese and meat and sugar and oils and all this stuff is detrimental to our health. And I have so many close people in my life who are no longer in my life because of death from some diseases that may have been treated or prevented by food and by food nutrition. And so this is a very important topic for me because I need to share this information that I know now with everybody, with my family, with friends, with people I don't even know, because I didn't know that this information was out there. I didn't know that this lifestyle existed and that lives could be saved by nutrition. And so I feel that it is my job now that I know this, that I have to share this with people. And sharing this with, my followers, my clients, my friends, my family, and all of these people, I know that I am doing my part in helping people get healthier and helping people live healthy lives. And when we look at the number one when we look at the number one killer in America, it's heart disease. And heart disease is mostly food related. So if we all addressed our nutrition, would heart disease take, 80-something% of America? So, or would it be the risk, would 80% of America have that risk anymore, or would we be able to cut that number down? I was reading some figures on the percentage of risk that a standard American diet person, someone who is in, when I say standard American diet, I mean like beer, pizza, wings, tacos, burgers, French fries, alcohol, chips, cookies, fried cheese, like all of that junk is basically what America is eating. So the risk that a person eating the standard American diet has of developing heart disease is like, I think it's like 94%. That's a huge percentage, you guys. A vegetarian was much, much lower. Vegan was even lower than that. And I would assume that a whole food plant-based person would be even lower than that, and the vegan I think was 4%. So I would say it's safe to assume that someone who is even more so eating mostly whole foods would be even lower than that. So from 94% down to 4%. I think it was 94%. I'll have to double check that number, but it was high. It was really, really high. And then we cut out all the junk and we get down to just a 4% risk. So I want to talk a little bit about genes, because people talk about, well, it's all in your genes. You're just like meant to get heart disease. You're meant to get cancer. You're just meant to get it. It's just in your genes. And here's the thing. Do genes play a role? Absolutely. 100% genes do play a role. However, genes load the gun, lifestyle and nutrition pulls the trigger. We've heard this phrase before. A lot of the whole food plant-based doctors use it as well. And this is why some, very few, like 100-year-old people could eat Oreos and drink Coke their whole life, live to be 100, and not have any disease. That is the very small percentage of people that can do and eat whatever the hell they want and not get affected by disease. Very, very, very small percentage of people. When we look at the heart disease rates, and we look at dementia and stroke and type 2 diabetes and cancers and all this, the numbers are excruciatingly high. They are so high. And I'm not going to chance what my genes might be like and just eat crap and then develop something. I want to take control of it now. So what I'm asking of you, please don't wait until you get sick. Don't wait until there is a health crisis. We look at when people have, I talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago, when someone goes into the doctor and they have been smoking for years and years, and the doctor goes, oh my gosh, Carl, you've developed lung cancer and mouth and throat cancer, and you're going to need a breathing tube. Would the doctor then tell you just to cut back on smoking? Like, just cut back? Or would he tell you, like, to stop? Like, stop smoking because this is an issue. He'd tell you to stop smoking. If someone goes in with, if someone has a heart attack, someone has a stroke, right? Someone's developing these mostly food-related illnesses and diseases. Does the doctor look at them and say, cut down on stuff? Yes, they do. So if we're telling someone once they've developed the disease to cut down on all the things that are harmful, why are we not already doing that beforehand? Because heart disease doesn't wait for you to want to make a healthy decision with your nutrition. Cancer doesn't wait for you to, finally decide to eat healthy. It takes a long time to develop these diseases and for the tumors to grow and for your arteries to get clogged. That's why we get these diseases later and not now. When we're young, right? However, all of these things are hitting people at a younger and younger age. I mean, people weren't getting these diseases until, later in life. And now we're getting into like 40s and 30s, and people that are like 30 years old are having a heart attack because they started out at 4 years old eating chips and soda and cheese sticks and stuff like that. So it takes time to develop, and I don't want it to be a situation where it's never too late to change your nutrition, but too late to, treat or prevent treat and prevent a disease. So I want to catch it beforehand and have it not develop, because it does take time to develop. And if you are literally feeding the disease and feeding the tumors and letting it grow by eating refined sugar and fried stuff and, cured meats and smoked meats and stuff like that, you're feeding a potential bad gene or a cancer cell tumor, right? You're feeding that, and you're allowing it to grow. So genes do play a role, yes. Diet, lifestyle, exercise is the other part of that, and we have control of that. It's our choice. We have total control over the latter. We don't have control of our genes. That's set in stone. That was decided generations and generations ago. My genes were formed of my grandma, my great-grandmother. My immune system is in part because of what my grandma ate and my great-grandma. So we need to remember that our body has, things set up for us already that we don't have control of. But what do we have control of now? And it's diet, lifestyle, and exercise. So don't wait to get sick. Don't wait for the doctor to tell you, hey man, you just had a stroke. Maybe you should cut back on those cured meats. Maybe you should cut back on those chips and cut back on the alcohol and donuts and things that are literally clogging the arteries that lead to your heart. Okay? And another thing too I wanted to mention too. So years and years and years ago, doctors were recommending that, or suggesting that smoking cigarettes was totally fine. Like, there's no, what was one of the ads that I saw from like the 50s or something? It was like, there is no proof that smoking cigarettes or tobacco use has any ill effect on your overall health. We look at those ads now and we're like, why would you say that? That is so not true because we know now that smoking leads to cancer and leads to, throat, lung, all these things, right? We know that now. We have the data. We can make an informed decision and know that cigarettes are bad news now. And mark my words, it's going to be the same kind of things in 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. We're going to look back and be like, junk food is one of the leading causes of, and everyone's gonna know it. It is proven. There is data. There is research. The World Health Organization a couple years back came out and said meat is carcinogenic and it is a cancer tumor grower. Like, they came out and said these things and people are still not getting it. So this is kind of a serious brunch break, but I am very passionate about people's health, my family, myself, my clients, and people that are watching now and don't even know. I want you guys to make informed decisions, and that's why I want to share all of these things with you. Because, like I said, we are in total control of our lifestyle, nutrition, and our exercise. We can't just say, well, genes will take care of it. I'm already doomed. If you're thinking that, just get that out of your head, because yes, genes play a role, but an even bigger part is the diet, lifestyle, and exercise. So it's our choice. So let's make informed decisions. And now I want to talk really quick for the people that are like, okay, I'm thinking that I want to make a change. I'm going to give it a try for a couple days. That's great. Yes, give it a try. Jump in. Let's do this. However, what I want to tell you right now is that one day of eating plant-based is not enough. 2 days is not enough. 3 days is not enough. 1 week, 2 weeks is not enough to get the data and then throw in the towel. For example, if someone was eating plant-based for 3 days and they're like, oh, I have a headache, I don't feel good, and I'm gonna go back to eating what I was eating before, and then they feel better, and they're like, well, I guess plant-based just doesn't work for me. When we look at a situation like that, we need to allow ourselves plenty of time to get through the detox phase. And I'll explain what I mean by the detox phase. So when a person goes from eating the standard American diet of pizza and chips and donuts and alcohol and meat, processed meat and all these things, and then they stop eating those physically and mentally addictive foods and they start eating whole plants, you're not going to feel like awesome right away. I'm just going to tell you, it's not going to be fantastic on day 1, day 2, day 3, probably even a week or 2 in, because your body is withdrawing from all of the foods that you once ate. The refined sugar, the processed bread, the cheese, the meat, your body's going through withdrawal from those things. I mentioned smoking either. I'll just refer back to that. When a cigarette smoker wants to quit and they stop smoking, they get a headache. I'm speaking from experience, all the times that I tried to quit before I finally did, I got a headache. I turned into a raging bitch. Like, I was shaking. Like, I couldn't think of anything else until I got a cigarette, and I had headaches and it was so bad and I couldn't concentrate and all these things until I had a cigarette. And when I had the cigarette, poof, all those things went away because I fed my body that withdrawal, I was feeding the withdrawal. And when we feed our withdrawal symptom, headaches, all those things will go away. The stomach ache, the fatigue, the moodiness, all those things may go away when we feed the withdrawal, but what we're doing essentially is like masking a symptom. We're like providing our body with like a fake relief of what is it's actually trying to heal itself. So we have to push through those first couple days, those first couple weeks, and get to the other side of it. You're not going to feel well because your body is trying to heal and deal without all of that toxic stuff that it was giving you. And we have to push through and get to the other side of that. So how we can do that is, of course, with eating whole plant-based foods. The more clean you are and the more you are away from the processed stuff, the fake sugar and things like that, the quicker that you may get out of this detox phase with headaches and fatigue and things like that. And once you get to the other side of that, you feel better than you ever thought you did ever. And I know some people watching now are like, well, I feel fine now, but like I'm not overweight. I don't need to lose weight. I feel fine. So, and disease doesn't run in my family. I'm throwing up the air quotes. Disease doesn't run in my family, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing like I'm fine. Again, don't wait for your choices to catch up with you later and develop something. But if you think you feel fine now, the amount of energy and the way that you can feel when you cut all the toxic stuff and push through detox and get to the other side of that, the greatness that you would feel then is so much better, in my experience and most of my clients' experiences. The way you feel after, like on the other side of that hill, is better than you ever felt or that you ever thought you could feel. So when I look back for me, like I thought I felt fine too, but I didn't realize that every day and then I look back to it and I'm like, yeah, I took Tylenol every single day. Like I had chronic headaches and all these things, but I was so used to them and that was my normal, so that I thought I did feel fine because I felt it all the time. So when you feel bad all the time, you don't know that you feel bad all the time. Does that make sense? Until you feel good. Like once you feel good, you're like, wow, I really felt like shit. That was, why was I doing that to myself? This is how I want to feel. And that is where you will get to when we bust through the detox phase and when we get through the withdrawals of the toxic cravings and the unhealthy addictions, because let's face it, that's what the standard American diet foods do to us. They're physically and mentally addicting. So let's talk a little bit about making a change, right? If you are watching and you are wanting to make this change and you are wanting to really take control of your health, even if there is no health problems right now, you can still feel so much better. You can live a more full, more energetic, more healthy life better than you are right now, even if you're not sick or overweight. You can live a much more healthy life. And again, too, do you want to live a life where you feel alive and you're like riding your bike at age 80? Or do you want to be in a nursing home at age 80? Because there are two different ways that we can take, and our choices now depend on or influence where we're going to be when we're 50, 60, 70, 80. We can't decide when we're in a nursing home and ailed and all of these, mostly food-induced diseases are hitting us, and then we want to like take it back. Like, let's take control now so we don't have to feel regret, because that sucks. And so that we don't have to try to work through something that is really painful and hard, years and years later. So if you're ready to crush this and you want to remain, or if you want to get through any health ailment that you're having right now, if you want to overcome emotional eating, if you want to lose weight, whatever you are wanting with your lifestyle change, anything that you want is fine. Like I said, weight loss, recovering from, type 2 diabetes, or preventing any of these diseases, more energy, a clearer skin, whatever it is that you want, we can achieve that with a transition to a whole food plant-based lifestyle. And I can help you do that, and I am helping Many people do that in my monthly membership site, NutriBabe Nation. And we are having a holiday challenge coming up. It's starting on November 19th. So it's going to be a 6-week challenge. It'll be kind of in 2 or 3 parts. The first part of it will really be talking about our goals. We'll talk about the difference between push goals and pull goals. We'll talk about the difference between input and outcome goals, long-term and short-term, and we're really going to get deep and decide, why are you doing this? And it's going to be different for everybody, but why are you wanting to make this change, and what are your goals? And these are not surface level goals. We will dig and we will find the reasons and the whys that are deep down in, because bringing those to the surface will help carry you in your transition. Because for me, so many times I was like, I want to lose weight. And that was all I wanted. Like, that was my only goal and my only why. And that didn't last all of these other times before, because there was no really like grit behind it. I was like, I want to lose weight. That's it. Like, I want to, just lose weight. I'm like too big. And that was all that was really, it was really surface level. And once I dug deeper and got into why I wanted to lose weight, why I wanted to change my health, what I was doing this for, what it meant to me, I was able to, peel off these layers and really figure it out, and that helped carry me. And this last lifestyle change, 4.5 years ago, was successful because I worked on that and I did those things. So we're gonna do that in the 6-week holiday challenge. Once we get through that, we will jump right into a challenge for the rest of this year, for the rest of 2017. And you're gonna go into New Year's this year with you're gonna go into January 1st with such different attitude, with such smaller pants, and a zest for life that you've never felt before by going through this holiday challenge. So I want to see you in the challenge. I cannot wait to start. We start on November 19th. You can join NutriBabe Nation before that as well, but the challenge does start on the 19th. We're going to be sending out information for the coupon code for that challenge and for NutriBabe Nation, and that is your first 6 weeks for $60. And then it's monthly after that. So I cannot wait to have you in the holiday challenge. It's going to be amazing. You can sign up at lovechard.com/holiday challenge. I'll post the link below, and make sure to get on that list so I know that you want to join us and get all the information and the coupon codes and all of it for that. Again, you can join before that and go through videos and hang out with us in the chat and in the discussion forums and go through the roadmap and all kinds of other things before we start the challenge on the 19th. That's totally fine. Or you can wait until the 19th to start and to join. So totally up to you. Again, get on the list at lovechart.com/holiday challenge. I will be sending out information this week to make sure that you get all of the information for the challenge, and we get you signed up and we get you in, and let's take control of your health, your nutrition, your lifestyle, your exercise, your mindset, your emotional eating, all of that. We are going to crush all of those things and have you living a life that you want to live, that makes you feel alive, and not where you're just surviving, but you're thriving. So head to lovechart.com/holiday challenge. I will see you on the wait list for that, and I'll send out information this week for that, and I'll see you next week for Brunch Break episode 27. Bye, guys.